Okay. So we had talked about part A, the fact that they're talking about an amount of pollution in a lake. So we label that as P of T as they specify. We know that those units are gallons, so we've done that. We know that the amount of pollution in the lake at time 0 is 50. We know the rate is specified as P prime of T. Question? Okay? It's all good. If we go on to the next question, it says, how much pollution is in the lake? Okay, how much pollution is in the lake at time equal 9? So we'll get Jessica to help me so we can get our focus back. You're okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm the one who caused the distraction. So. Jessica, in this problem, we've already outlined the fact that we have amount and we have rate. In your opinion, which do we have the most information about? Do we have more information about the amount? Or do we have more information about the rate?
The rate.
We have an infinite amount of information about the rate because we have a formula that will calculate the rate at any time we choose. So I can find out everything there is to know about the rate. Everything. Amount, not so much. I know the amount at time 0, and that's all I know. So here's a huge, gigantic hint for the AP test. It's not really a hint, it's like a method. If you know information about the rate, and you want to find information about the amount, you're always going to use the fundamental theorem. So that's where we begin this work here. We're going to write down the fundamental theorem, which says right here, if I integrate the rate, I can find how much the amount changes. So I need an integral. I need to integrate the rate, which is P prime of T. And that will be the same as finding how much the amount changed. Like how different was the amount at 2 different times. So that's what you should first write on your paper. Question? Cool. That's a good motion now. We're all set. Okay. So Mary, we're interested in figuring out how much like when we integrate the rate, it's going to tell us how much the pollution level changed. So we've got to know a time period we should be thinking about. Based on the problem, what time period would you think we should be focused on?
From time 0 to time 9.
2 points. So time 0 to time 9. Cool. Questions? 2 points for Mary. We can find this integral because we have a calculator, so let's do that. Let's come back over here. Load in the correct calculator file. 2b number 2. Cool. So I go to the main screen and I do math 9. Uh, 0 to 9. I need to integrate P prime, which is y1. Takes a minute. This is a more complex computation, so it takes longer. 9285. So this integral is equal to negative 9.285. I'd like everyone in the room to raise their hand and tell me, what are the units of that number? What are the units of that number? Units are critical for this class. They give you points for them. If you lose track of the units, you often make more mistakes. Tessa, what are the units?
Gallons per day.
Not quite, but let me help you through it. No worries. Tessa, what are the units of P prime?
Gallons per day.
Good. And then we're going to multiply P prime by dt,
Which is days.
which is days. So So after we multiply, what are the units?
Gallons.
Just gallons. 2 points for Tessa. Who else knew before she said it? 2 points. Give Tessa 3. Question? So this is gallons. I think I mentioned that I like to think of these problems always as a tank. So we've got a tank of pollution. Everyone raise your hand on this one too. Is the 9285, just say yes or no. Is 9285 representing an amount of pollution in the tank? Yes or no? Say it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's obviously a little fuzzy. Whenever you integrate a rate, you always find, you don't ever find the amount. An easy way to remember that is, okay, did this integral occur at a specific time or over an interval of time? So just look at what we did. We integrated not at like 1 moment, we integrated from time 0 all the way to time 9. So the integral is always over an interval, always. Good there? Okay, 2 points for Kate. So the integral can never find an amount, like exactly what something is, at a given moment. It can only tell you what happened over a time period. It cannot tell you what happened at a given moment, only what happened over a time period. So this cannot be an amount in the tank, because that would be at a given moment. This is how much the amount changed over a time period. So if I'm drawing the tank, I would do this. I'd say, well, here's the level in the tank at time equals 0. And that level right there, that's 50 gallons. This number represents how much that amount will change over the 9-hour period. So that's really something like this. Like it's a shade highlighter here. So if I draw like that, the yellow is that number. It's how much the level went down. It's not what the level is, it's how much the level went down. Question. It's critical you notice the difference. Questions? Okay, cool. So, but we can use that now pretty easily because we're looking for what the level is at time 9. So if we rearrange a little bit, this is 50, so if we add the 50 to the other side, that's also 50 gallons. Now we can see we had 50 gallons, we lost 9, so the value of the, or the level of the pollution at time 9 will have to be 40 point, I believe it comes out 715, if I remember from your last period.
Yeah.
Questions? That's the correct answer. Make sure you show units, always. Make sure you don't ever type this number in your calculator. You have to use whatever number your calculator produces. So you have to go like this and say, okay, I've got the number, and I want to add to that number 50. Like that. Don't ever type the number again. Questions? Sweet, please.
So could you just have typed like in your calculator? I mean, I think we like eventually this is like the math we're doing, but just do like P of, or I guess you just do 50 plus and then the integral from 0 to 9. I guess that's like exactly what you're doing. You just instead of doing the equals P9 minus P0. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes perfect sense. 2 for Riley. My preference actually would be to do the purple.
Okay.
I did the green because I'm trying to figure out ways to help you remember how I think. I don't have to do any of this to see that where I'm headed is the purple.
Okay.
But yeah, so I would have just done the purple.
Okay. I was just checking it was like the same math.
Oh yeah, for sure. Nice job on your retake, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Well done. No, really, Riley. Well done. Please.
Do we have to round our answers at the end? Or can we
Always
just-
to 3 decimals.
But like, It's like you round to 715, but in some of the answers in the back, it's like you can do you could do 714 also.
Oh, gotcha. 2 points for that. My best guess, I don't know why that happens. Like sometimes they'll show one answer, sometimes they'll show two. My best guess is, I don't know if you remember, the calculator gets to choose this, and it also actually gets to choose how it does the integral. Like whether it's doing a left Riemann sum, right Riemann sum, midpoint, trapezoidal, or some other method we don't learn about. So I'm just guessing that if you use a different calculator, like perhaps Brooklyn changed, like the one that Brooklyn had before, the Casio, it could come out just slightly different. So they'll allow either answer. But if you always round to 3, you're safe. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
2 more, please.
Should we always put the 50 in front of the integral? Like the
You have to in this case because otherwise it doesn't make sense. This number is just -9. So I'm telling the grader P of 9 is equal to, the amount I had in the tank to start with at times 0. Those two have to match up. Then add to that, the integral is going to tell me how much the pollution level changes over the 9 hours. Yeah, so you have to write it that way. Otherwise it really won't make sense. Now, if you have a different way of writing, tell me the whole way you'd write it and I could check it. But
I just did the 50 at the end after the integral, so I did
oh, so you did like integral plus 50?
yeah.
That'd be fine. My apologies. It doesn't have to be in front. They're adding, so either order is fine. Anybody else? 2 for Ethan. Okay, cool. That's it. Go to the green packet.